Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Wednesday, August the 4th, and starting with the S&P on the daily chart here. Well, it's a two-day chart, and yeah, so we're on track for pushing higher. We've been consolidating at the 4-4 there for a little while, but we should be clear of that now. Well, we're not clear of it, but the pattern is completed, so we should push up from here. The other thing that I need to keep reminding us about is that this wave 3 that I'm looking for up here, that can also be sitting where that wave 3 is there on another count. Okay, so we're not there yet. We're but we'll just keep an eye on it. That's all. Okay, so from wave 2 here to wave 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves of 1 and 2 of minor degree here, of 3, 4 and 5. And from wave 4 to wave 5, we're also looking for 5 waves here in blue of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And between 2 and 3 here, we're also looking for 5 as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And between 2 and 3 here, we're also looking for 5 waves as well. So I'll probably have to stretch that up a little bit further up there, because between 2 and 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves of 1, and we've got 1 and 2 in here at the moment, so we still need 3, 4 and 5 to finish that off there. So I can adjust that later. It's not like a big deal, but let's just cut straight through to the intraday and pick it up on these two counts here for this. So let's just cruise in. This one should do. So that's the blue wave and the green wave 2, and we've been looking at all of this as wave 1 here. I have to say it's a bit of an unusual wave 2 here, unless I've got a count in here wrong, and that needs to sit there. But yeah, it's just a little bit weird, because wave 2 is normally simple, but because wave 2 is complex, let's just assume for a moment, then that would make the next structure up here quite simple. This wave 4 here, that should be simple. If that is correct, the way that I have it here, then I would assume that that is complex, because wave 2 is normally simple, and that would make wave 4 complex. So we'll just keep an eye out for a simple wave 4 up here and not a complex wave 4. So yeah, wave 3 here that we're looking at should be, at minimum this length here for this at minimum, but we'll probably be adding another 60%, so we'll probably be up here a little bit further. But we'll just count the 5 waves within this particular structure here, so not a biggie. The other main point here too that I wanted to make in terms of the trading levels is the 4-5 here, the 500. Not so much the 4, but the 5 here. So 5 is the second strongest number, so we should see the market sit there a little bit. But at the same time, I've also got to accommodate the fact that we've got wave 2 here. Well, we're going into blue wave 3, we're going into green wave 3, we're going into this grey wave 3. So we should see this push up quite strongly from this point, So if that's the case, we probably won't spend a lot of time at the 500. So yeah, just a bit of, we'll look at, anyway, it is what it is. So we'll keep those things I'll keep those things in mind anyway. This little pattern across the top there, we normally look at it at a 100 tick chart, but I'm just going to put it on my 10 tick chart just to show you how I've counted it, because some folks will be interested to see if I've got it wrong or right. Just it's a bit weird. I'm just getting my chart setting in there properly. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 up here with 1, and then I've got this as an A and a B and a C wave here just for the A wave. Just open that up a little bit, just in case you were toiling with it yourself. And look, I may not even have it right. Just because I've got doesn't mean that you're wrong, like I said, the other option really is to put this over here, but I couldn't kind of work that without forcing it. So yeah, an ABC for the A wave, and then an ABC for the the B wave up here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the C wave of wave 2. And just for this here as well, you can see a nice little 5-wave structure in this here. So this will be the nice third wave in here. So we could look at this as 1 A, B, C for 2 here, the third wave, fourth wave. So we're very close to a top there. You can count, I'll leave that for you to count 5 waves in this little structure in here. The other thing that I wanted to say too, so this could pull back probably, you know, back into the 4-4 area here. The thing to look for also next as well is this level here, which is really important, the 4430, because it's the group 1 of the 400 here. So getting support on this level here with the little classic trading levels pattern, which should look something like this. If you do get the arrival and if you get the reaction here, then you're likely to get the rest of this. If you don't get the reaction here, then you're going to end up with something like this. If you don't get that reaction here, then it will push up and then come back at that point. And the distance above is the distance below, just roughly speaking. And this line here, whatever number that is, that becomes the balance line for the correction. So you pick it up over here for that. So, but what we need to understand is that if we get support on number 3 here, so that's simple, that 3 attested support, a classic trading levels pattern here, then be something like that, then you can also go long there. But also what it's telling you is that it's not going to come back to this number at that point. Once it's got support on 3, it will be pushed up to 5 at that point, and then this pattern here will repeat itself in its own way. You can kind of see that here on this, on the 10 there. It eventually, you know, it's resistance here, and it eventually comes back and tests it for support. And it's doing the same thing here again as well. It's just really how it migrates from being resistance to support, and it's the same going down as well, much the same. It's not a perfect world as such, but it can be helpful once you sort of see that, once the penny drops on that. So if that, I haven't counted this yet. Let's just assume the top is in there for a second or two. So let's just, we should be looking at a 50-60% retracement level. So it could pull back down to this level here for this wave 2. But also too, it might just come back down, you know, a bit shorter than that as well. So if it does give some sort of ABC correction here, then you can look at this being long through that way or something of that nature. But because we've got 5 waves here, that means we'll be getting another 5 over here. So you can look to be long in that. So I'll just take that away. We're already long there. We got long early because I was just expecting something simple here, but I didn't get it. So we're long there. It doesn't really matter. So we're all set for the journey. And the Russell, this is the Russell 2000 on the 1 hour chart. So we've just been working this here. So we've got wave 1 here and 2 here. I'm looking at this as wave 1. I did have wave 1 over here. I don't know if that was the last time we spoke or not, but looking at this as the ABC for wave 2. We can now bring this stop up under this wave 2 here. And we have that long trade here. If this B wave here, an A and a B and a C wave here, if that B wave gets triggered, then you can go long from that point there as well. You could probably, because, well, no, not in this case, because we've got this C wave coming down, which is 5 waves, it could leave this as an A and a B and a C. That's the truth of the matter. So that would be the evidence and the correct thing to do at that point, but you could get in earlier. I'll leave that to you, but that's where the risk is. That's where it sort of clears the risk at that particular point. And yeah, and also too, this is quite important here too, this number 3 here, wherever you see a 3, it's probably group 1. And in this case here from 2000, we've got 100, 200, and 300. So 1, 2, 3, keeping it simple. This is all minor group 1. So gaining, gleaning support on top of this 3 here, it will stop the market being pulled back to this number, and we can start looking at the next number, which is next level, which is 5. So the Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. Should set that in there a bit better. Yeah, so you can look to build the trade through these here. So if, yeah, so obviously we want to be building on there. We'll look for a classic trading levels pattern here. We've got a really good base here, really good accumulation process here. So we may not spend a lot of time here because also too will be in wave third of the third, and then we'll also be going into the third as well. So you could probably build another position on top of the between 200 and 300 here. You can do the numbers again as well. So then from 200 to 300 it will be 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8 here. So what you could do is look at number 3 here, which will be 30 in this case. And you could look for a tested support on there. So if you wanted to refine that entry, you can look for a classic trading levels pattern on the 30. There will be, there will be a vibration around here for that. So if you wanted to refine that, yeah. So I'll leave that at that. And let's move over to the Nasdaq. Okay, so yeah, look, this is really looking good. We've just been talking about the levels and so on. We can see here that at the 15,000, just visually, you don't even need to understand Elliott, but what you can see here is that it was resistance and it's been trying to gain support, hasn't it? So it's getting closer and closer to being on the upper side of the 15,000 rather than the lower side. So that's kind of visually what you're looking for. You're really looking for that sort of tested support on that level. So this is looking quite good. It's quite simple at the moment. It may get more complex, but that's the risk of trading, I guess. But yeah, let's go to the hourly chart and pick this up a little bit further. So we've got wave 1 here with an ABC for wave 2, and in this case we're looking at 1 and 2 here. So we'll also be looking at 1 and there'll be 1 and 2 in here somewhere, maybe something like that, before sort of pushing off. So there'll be 5 waves in that move there. So yeah, the Nasdaq looking good. So yeah, I don't really need to do much about that. So we're looking for, can move all these up. We're looking for wave 5 up there, but we're also looking for wave 3. So let's just pop that in there. So that's our journey. And I guess the other thing that I would like to say here is that once again at 15,000, which is a medium level, halfway between 10,000 and 20,000, of course, these levels here, this is 1, 2, and 3, 100, 200, and 300, 1, 2, 3, to keep it simple, is also group 1 as well. So this market at the moment belongs to this number here. Once we get support on number 3 here, then it will sever itself from this number here, and then it'll start looking at the next level. If I'll just copy that, which will be 500. So with the trading levels, all you really got to kind of start with to get a bit of an idea is just remember the numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. And 8's the next level here, and of course it can be refined further than that, but just that 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. And then with 8 here we've got group 2, which will be the 650 here and the 72 in there as well, and that makes it up for the whole number between 15,000 and 16,000. It kind of just breaks the problem down a little bit, and then you can tackle each level individually with more refinement and so on and so on. So yeah, just a little bit helpful. So yeah, let's have a look at stock now. So starting with Amazon here. Now I've got this as wave 3 and ABC for wave 4. I'm happy with that, and I'm happy with wave 1 here and 2 here. Yeah, I'm just a little bit confused about this one here. I mean, I know I've got 5 waves here and I can call it wave 1 and 2. I've also put a B wave up here just in case this whole correction gets larger, but I don't think that's the case. I'm just going to grey that out. I'm trying to figure it out really. So, but I mean, if I just keep it simple, then it should be, you know, wave 1 here and 2 here, and then wave 1 and 2 here, and then going up for wave 3 into this space. It should be, this wave 3 should be longer than green wave 1, and then 4, 5. So I think this is sort of okay, but I'm leaving the question mark there because it will make me think a bit more about it as we go. Now, it has pulled back to the 61.8%, and we've been yesterday toying around with the low there. The pattern didn't quite sort of... Let's go into the tick chart and talk about it then. Okay, so get this into view here. This is 100 ticks here. So yesterday we're looking at this as wave 1 here and an A, B and C down here for wave 2 into the box here. So from wave B to wave C here we're looking for 5 waves, so I just assumed that that's wave 1 and 2 here, and then I was assuming this is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the 3rd wave, and then we've got the 4th wave here. So the 4th wave would be an A wave, a B wave and a C wave to here for wave 4, and then down for wave 5 here, and then push up from that point. So that's okay, but I wonder if I've made a mistake in all of this. It's hard to, you know, it's hard to see what's inside of this here. So it could be that that this wave that... Sorry, just getting a few tools to work. It could be that if I just copy that for a moment and pop that there and pop that there and get that there, and then have this wave 5 sitting down here with this, you know, wave C here already done here. Now, I'm not quite sure. It could be either or either. But what I was thinking that this is an impulse wave, so 5 waves here. So one way or another, we're going to get a pullback, which it's doing now. I don't know if that's complete. We could probably have a look at that a bit closer. But should we go long here just in case, you know, because if it's not this ABC here, it's just going to be, you know, 3, 4 and 5 and push up from that point, you know, go into that sort of recovery. So it would be sort of unfortunate if we miss that opportunity here. But what it does mean, though, it does mean that we'll, if this wave 4 is correct, it might mean that we come out with a loss, a small loss, or break even, or a small profit. But, you know, I'm just saying, a bit of work for no glory, so to speak, you know. So, yeah. But I think it's probably worth having a crack at it. And the other reason I think it's worth having a crack at it is because if the Nasdaq's going to push up like that, then, and the S&P going into those 3rd waves or whatever, then it's probably likely that some of these bigger stocks will be heading in that direction as well, dragging those indexes up. So, yeah, let's just go into 10 tick chart and have a look at this here for a bit. Okay, well that ABC's finished and it's not pulling back to its 50-60%. So we've got the A wave, the B wave and the C wave. So you could get in here a little bit earlier if you wanted to. Yeah, so we were talking about, you know, going long here. We can certainly go long on the B wave here. You could certainly go long coming through here for this as well, but that's also like a little impulse wave there, so you can just go long here and copy that and put a stop. You could put it that close under this little wave 2 low there, but it's always nice to put it under here because things happen in the night. I'll leave that up to you to do. In fact, the stock would probably better off. See, if that's the 50 there, and then we got group 2 here. Group 2 is 65, so that's 6 just coming into group 2 now, and that will be 72, so 3372, and then the 80 here. So that's all of group 2. And 34 is also really an important number as well, because when you think of the Fibonacci sequence, we go 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, so 34, 55, 89. So I'm aware of those numbers, but when it comes to a lot of detail like this here, then this number becomes a little bit more important in terms of things. So having that as support would be another way to add on top of this position as well. I won't go too much into the intraday things. I mean, I would be adding all through these as well. I'd be building all through here and here. But yeah, that's another story. So I'm just going to clean this up because I don't really come to the 10 tick chart on this particular stock, but anyway, you get the idea. So let's just go back to our, was it the 100 ticks we were looking at? Yeah, let's just go back here. So we've refined that a lot more now. So what we can do is we're just going to, I'm going to put a stop at this number over here, the 50 here, right? So that means I'm using because 5 is the second strongest number, so I'm going to use the 50 as my support, and then I've got the choice to, I wouldn't put the stop at 50, you just don't do that, because you'll be attracting orders to that number, and you wouldn't want to put it at 49. So 8 is a very strong number, so I consider 8 the third strong number. So 1 is the strongest, then 5, and then 8. So I've got 5, and I don't want to put it at 9, so I might as well use 8. So I could put the stop at 7 or 6. You'll get reasonable results at putting at 7, but you'll get better results in the long run at putting at 6. So the stop should be at 46, 3346. I'll just put that there anyway. And if you don't put it at 6 and you want to drop it down again, then you would put it at 2, at 42. So I'm just going to okay, that's that, and we're going to go in. We're going to go in now, because also what we need to do as well, we talked about the 34 here. We need to be worried about that wave 4 here. So that 38.2% retracement level for that is about where it is at that point there. So we'll just need to be, that's the risk that we're taking on at this point. So I'll leave that. I spent too much time on that, so I'll leave that at that. Alphabet. We're looking for wave 2, as you know, somewhere in there. So we'll put that there. We don't need that anymore, actually. Remove that. I wanted to delete it. So if I've got this wrong here, then wave 3 would be sitting where this wave 1 is here. There's a good possibility, but that'll become clear a little bit later on. But in a nutshell, we're looking for wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 of 5 here, and that should take us pretty close to this 5th wave of this big 3rd wave here. And that's why I was saying with the S&P that it could end a little bit earlier than expected, because I'm working the Nasdaq slightly differently. So but we've got plenty of time with all of this. We'll just continue to focus on making money. Once that 70, we're in group 2 here, 65.72, and this is exactly what we'd expect in this in group 2. The market to stall there, but to stay there as well. Once the 72 becomes the support here, you could look to add to the position again, as we've got a position here. So I don't need to copy that. I can just put that there. So basically what you're looking for at the 72 is a classic trading levels pattern, or visually having support there. So you really want that first high above the level. So this is 100 ticks, so you probably need to go to 20 ticks to sort that out. If that gets triggered there, then we can look at bringing the stop up under here for that. I won't spend any more time on that one either. And with Facebook here, we looked at this yesterday. We're putting wave 3 there with wave 4 here, and we're looking for a move up here higher. As I've mentioned before, we're going to be spending time at the 50 here. So I won't go to the intraday today. We went there yesterday, but we were expecting it to push up. I'll just have a look. I just got to get my own head around that. And I've also got this 1 degree smaller here as well. So instead of having green wave 3 here and green wave 4 here, I've got 1 degree smaller here. So I still got to resolve that. I'll do that in due course. But yesterday we were looking at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and it's starting to move off nicely. So yeah, so that should just continue to mosey along there, so to speak, and gather a bit more momentum. But we will be spending a bit more time here for this. I won't move the stop. Here we've got a position here. I won't move the stop until we've got a tested support over here for this. Now you could buy if you don't have a position here and you're looking for it. We are looking at a classic trading levels pattern across this level. It wouldn't hurt to have a position here, and we can continue to work it and build it in. And Square, so as I mentioned yesterday, Jack Dorsey bought an Australian company, Afterpay. So that sort of created a bit of volatility in the market. It's kind of interesting really, isn't it? Because, you know, that big bar there was the day that it was, you know, mentioned. But you can see that obviously, you know, the size of these bars here and this pushing up here, these 2 bars here at least, you know, obviously there's some insider trading going on there, definitely. I'm certainly not accusing anybody, but that's good old greed for you. So anyway, we don't need that trend line now, because that's that will become the support eventually, but we can just use our levels at this point. So once again, we're in group 2 here, and when we talked about Alphabet just a moment ago, that was in group 2, 65, 72 and 80. So it will just vibrate in there for a little while, and then hold there hopefully, and continue to push up. So we've got the wave count as 1 and 2 here. I'll need to go back over and check that as well. So I'm just going to write that on my little notepad, just to double check these things when I've got some time. Okay, I've already written that down. So that's all good there. We'll just hold there. We've got 2 positions, this one and this one. We've got our stop at break even on this one. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it at that really, and all good. So this will probably be these 5 waves up here. We'll probably make this wave 3 here as well. That's why I've got to double check it, because, you know, we've got to kind of start tuning everything in, because, you know, they all should really sort of top together. There will be leaders and followers. So this wave 3 could also be here as well. So I'll need to check on that, but that's okay. Our target is the 300. So we'll probably take a percentage at that point. If not all of it, that's up to you, and we'll see if we can work it a little bit higher at that point. But we'll put that there to take something at that point. But we'll just keep an eye on it. We'll just see how that goes. We might be able to sort of suck a bit more out of it up into group 1 here. So up into the 10, 20, and 30 up here is group 1. And Facebook, we're still looking at this as wave 1 and 2 here, okay, but I've just sort of rearranged the bigger picture here for a moment. This is a tick chart, but it's got it. I'm looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and going up for 5 here. So yeah, still a little bit here. I'm just still playing around with this count here. I've just changing it a little bit, just as try. I'm mucking around with the back end of it here, as such. So yeah, anyway, it doesn't really matter at this stage. The main point here is that we should be just about finished now. We're at the 61.8% mark for this wave 2 here. I won't look for a position here because we've already got one over here for this, but if you wanted to, then you could take that top out if you wanted to in there, and you just have to keep the stop under here. I just don't know if we've got a little bit more to go on this particular one. Just yeah, let me just have a bit of a look at this. Yeah, I won't do that just yet. I'll just get some more information first, just in case there's one more little push down for that. Certainly above the 355, so if that's any help to you. Let's just put that in there, which just leaves us back over at this one anyway for me. But I think we've possibly got a low in there. If you haven't got a position in here, you could if you see that top get taken out, you could go for that. And Tesla. So with Tesla here, there's still a little bit more to go up in here. This is this is our target area here. So anywhere in this box would be fine. I can see that we're in the 3rd wave here, so we've still got the 4th wave, which is playing out here now, and then another little thing. So there's a little bit more to go here. I won't go to the intraday today. I've got a position in here myself. So it's a bit of a tricky one, this one, because the other count that we've got this count. We've got this count here. We've got the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave here for wave 4. But it's also possible to look at this as an ABC here in orange for this blue wave 4 to be sitting over here, and then working that to the upside, which we are on the tick chart. So yeah, but if you're looking to take profit anywhere where this consolidation is here, this block here, that block there over here, that's basically where you'd be sort of looking at. Well, you can see that now because it's hit the block, it's hit the supply, and it's reacting from that. It's going to try and get through it. So I'll just leave it for a little while, and we'll look at the intraday as time goes on. But if you're long there, you may want to take some money off the table at that point until we can work out if we're bullish again. I mean, in the bigger picture, we could spike up to where this spike is here, anywhere into that, or even hit the 800. But to turn bullish, I would have to see this whole 5-wave structure here end, and then I would have to see the move down. I'd have to see that as the move down as bullish corrective rather than impulsive. So it'll take a little time to work that out, but we don't want to lose profit while we're working that out. That's why we need to take some money off the table there. And of course, if the 800 becomes the support, well then we'll be long, and we'll be heading up to 1,000 at that point, and we'll need to see some sort of classic trading levels pattern at the 800. Remembering that this is really all about the 8. 8 is the 3rd strongest number, and this is where it's reacted from here, and it's come down to the next level for support. But all of this is about this 800 here. And then if it's correct, then we'll be looking for, if this is bullish here, we'll just basically be looking for 5 waves up into this space up here. So we'll probably go to 1-1 or something of that nature before having a correction. So yeah, we'll see. I'll keep working on that, and that's an Australian stock, so that's not what we want for this video. So that wraps it up And yeah, so look, just to recap a little bit, I'm pretty excited really, because there's a good opportunity here for these markets to move higher. They need to take out these previous highs on the Nasdaq, and much the same with the S&P as well. And if that's going to be the case, that means that these stocks will be pushing up higher. So and the S&P just here as well. So the good thing about this with the S&P is that this move across here is bullish corrective, because it's got overlapping wave structures. So there will be new highs made. So if you don't overtrade, you'll be able to hang in there and grab some of that profit. If you don't, because if you overtrade, then you'll end up putting your stop too close, or panic and start pushing buttons, and you know how it goes. So yeah, alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.